Josh Giddey is set to get the bag, but the big question is it going to be the Bulls? If you are new to the channel, please hit that like button. Please subscribe to the page. We do talk Chicago Bulls weekly on this channel. It's the only channel talking Bulls, how Bulls fans talk. So make sure that you get in tune with us, man. We're gonna up the frequency of when we post on this channel. Probably not the daily because of all the other duties that I do have. Of course, working with ESPN, of course, doing the Windy City Breeze that we do daily. But I'm trying to get it up to about 3 times a week so that we're being consistent with the Bulls schedule. Plus, I told y'all these boys gonna make the playoffs, man. So we got to talk about that as well. We'll probably go a little more daily, or however many days they end up playing in the play-in / playoffs. But man, we got to talk about the possibility of Josh Giddey getting the bag out here. And I think this is a conversation that just you have to start having. The way that he's been balling since the All-Star break, it only makes sense. I mean, 23 points per game, 10.9 rebounds per game, just about 11 rebounds per game, and 8.4 assists in 9 games since the All-Star break. And here's the big thing that I think about Josh Giddey that is interesting is the conversation around him on, okay, well, what if you just allow him to go out and dictate the market? What if you allow him to go out and find his price out there, right? I don't think that the Bulls can really afford to do that, because if you get Josh Giddey in here and you sit down and you have a conversation with him, realistically speaking, you might be talking about somewhere in the range of him coming in at wanting $30 million, you coming in and wanting him at about $25 million, and settling somewhere in the middle. But there's a couple of things that already are hurting the Bulls. Number one, in negotiating on your own team, you have a player on your team making $19 million a year in Patrick Williams, who is absolutely useless. He is not a good basketball player. He does not have a single game committed to memory that I can go to and just be like, wow, look at that. That is a long-term piece right there. And yes, I know people are going to bring up the Minnesota game. I know people are going to sit there and talk about one of the games that I think he had out in LA. But if we're talking about, no, I can see that this is something that continues. That game does not exist in Patrick Williams' career. And you paid him $19 million a year for the hope that one day he may turn into what? Kawhi Leonard? That's hurting you off rip, because Josh Giddey is giving you 3 times the efficiency that Patrick Williams is giving you, 3 times the performance that Patrick Williams is giving you. And guess what? He wouldn't be wrong to come in and ask for 3 times the money. Now, I think he may only ask for something like $10 million more, which still is a lot more money, but you've kind of shot yourself in the foot in the Josh Giddey situation, with where maybe you could have came in and said, listen, Josh, we want you at about 22. You're sitting at about 30. Let's settle in at 25 and call it a day. There's no way you can be anywhere near the money that you're paying Patrick Williams if I'm Josh Giddey's agent, and you're sitting there coming to me talking about we would like to keep him long-term at $22 million. I would take it as disrespect. I would get up and I would walk out of the meeting, and it would take a lot of money. It would take $30 million on the dot to get me back into the meeting, because that's a bad place to even start. And so I think the Bulls are already behind the 8 ball when it comes to negotiating a contract with Josh Giddey. On the flip side of all of that, I also think that you have a team right now who, if you let him walk, there's a couple of teams in free agency that could take a look at him money-wise, right? Philadelphia 76ers are going to be one of them, and the Brooklyn Nets are going to be another. And to me, the Brooklyn Nets are a team that, if you're going to go out there and spend money on a young piece that organizes things, I'm going to give you whatever you're asking for, because I want to make sure that the Chicago Bulls don't want you back at the price. So I'm starting the bidding at whatever you're asking. 30 mil, bet. We've got nothing going on here. We need a piece that's going to be an addition to this team. 30 mil, you got it. We need to spend money somewhere anyway. Come on in. We're going to have you and Cam Thomas as the future of this team, and we're going to figure this thing out. Now it puts the Bulls in a tough situation where your back's against the wall, and you have to pay him $30 million. And so for me, I think the conversation of letting him go out there and set his own market, dictate his own market, no, you need to be starting this process right now of getting him in the building and having conversations with his agent on, hey, where are we going to be landing at here? Because Josh has played phenomenally since the All-Star break. He's had a solid season overall. The three ball seems to be something that is gaining some consistency with him. He's shooting an incredibly efficient rate, 23 points, like I said, 10, almost 11 rebounds a game since the All-Star break. And I don't think that's just him having a hot stretch. I think this is him finally being able to stretch his wings and become the player that he said he always was when other people were in the way. Let me know how you guys feel in the comments below. I'll be down to talk with you guys as well. Hit that like button, subscribe to the page, leave a 5-star review. Y'all know what to do. Do you think the Chicago Bulls should allow Josh Giddey to go out there and set his own market, to dictate his own price, and then come back to the Bulls and have to pay him or match him on whatever that could be? I'll be down in the comments talking with you guys as well. Here's the tough part about that for me as well, right? Like, now, because you did continue down the road of this process of let's see what Zach LaVine is yet again, you still got question marks on, is this going to be long-term success? Oh, by the way, you also have Josh Giddey dealing with some injury now. Injured that ankle in that last game. That's going to take him a little bit of time to come back from. It's not going to be a lengthy injury as we got an update from Casey Johnson, which I was scared of, right? He ended up leaving the game in a walking boot. I was fearful that you may have to shut him down for the rest of the season and not get to see him again. I'm glad to hear that Josh Giddey, at least it seems like, will be back at some point this season, and that you're going to be able to kind of organize some things for yourself moving forward. But to me, right, looking at how he's been able to spread his wings, and even Kobe White as well, right? Like, without the Zach LaVine process, I think the Bulls just did themselves a great disservice, knowing that you were going to move on from Zach LaVine anyway, knowing that you were trying to move on from Zach LaVine the entire offseason, but you weren't hearing the deals that you wanted to hear. You end up doing it for a deal that gets you your first-round picks back, basically. I guess that's a good thing from that sense, because now you own all your picks, but you have to have some tough conversations when you're talking about, you know, going out there now and seeing what Josh Giddey is. Is this the player that he is, or is he just having his Nico Mirotic month? Is he having his Lauri Markkanen month? Is he having his Bobby Portis month? We've had a lot of Bulls that have had this month. Heck, is he having his Kobe White month, right? Hey, Patrick Williams last season, is he having his Patrick Williams month? Like, dog, like, it's so tough to tell, but it is funny because this is exactly the player that Josh Giddey showed that he was when there was nobody else that was in his way trying to score the basketball at a high clip and needed the ball in their hands to operate. This is the player that he was when Shea was hurt on OKC, when he was out there. I think he was putting up 16, 8 and 8, something like that over on OKC. Like, Josh Giddey has been this player before. Now, the scoring has not been this high, but that's because the three ball has been falling at an all-time level right now, right? He's shot the three ball incredibly well over the last few games. I mean, like 66% versus the Knicks. You're talking about a couple of 100% games in there where he was incredibly hot versus the Clippers in Philly. You're talking about a 75% game versus Miami where he shot at 3 for 4 from the three-point line, and then you had a little bit of a drop off versus Indiana, 2 for 5 in that game, a couple of 0 for 4 games as well. There's going to be some ups and downs. The three ball is just a way to extend Giddey's game, though, and so the fact that he's added that in, it makes sense that his scoring has taken an uptick, that he has moved in the right direction. All credit to Peter Patton, who is a god, for getting Josh Giddey from 32% to, I believe, 37% right now from the three-point line. Like, those are the things to me that you have to question, though, right? You have to look at him and say, okay, while he has been this guy, he hasn't shot the three ball this well in his career. Now, he's having a great year shooting the three ball. It's not just a month of him doing this, but is this just the year, or is this a long-term answer? Is this something that we can see and we can count on year in and year out from Josh Giddey? If not, is the continuing to get to the free throw line, getting to the bucket, being able to finish around the rim at such a high clip, being able to get everybody involved, are all of those things sustainable, or is this just a hot February and March that he is having? That's the tough part about all of this, where if you had moved on from Zach LaVine before any of this gets here, you can at least have what you feel like are some guaranteed answers, because you got to ask the same question about Kobe White as well. Let me know how you guys feel in the comments below. Do you think this is sustainable? Is Giddey having just a hot month? Is he having a hot season? Is this who Josh Giddey is. I'll be down there talking with you guys as well. As always, man, it's your boy Pat the Designer back at it again. Y'all stay safe out there, Chicago. See Red Nation stand up. Bulls do play tonight, so make sure to tap in with us over on Locked On Bulls as well. See Red Nation stand up. Peace.